What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Alright, in this video we're gonna do like a tutorial on World Boss Legend. What kind of teams you would like to build for like your first 9 clears, because after stage 9 that's when you start needing requirements. But for right now, like 1 through 9, no requirements, so you can take anybody in there, tier 3 or transcendent. So we're gonna go through like the best 5 teams. If you do have them assembled, and we'll kind of like build like leaderships, supports, and your DPS as we go. So that way you can start collecting life seed and carbonadium to start building up to get your tier 4, your first tier 4. And hopefully like to get a mighty CTP. Alright, so I'm going to say like your first team you should want to build will be like Sharon Rogers is great, especially if you have her newest uniform. And you could have, she works really well with an energy. It doesn't have to be reforged or anything. You can give her a regular mighty energy. But you could give her a mighty destruction, but the energy does work well. Or you can give her ignore dodge, 200% proc obelisk, or whatever. She's very proc friendly. So I would probably say like Ancient One, Sharon Rogers, and White Fox will be a pretty good team up. Let's see. Thor is also a good team up. So Beta Ray build is an Epic Quest character in which you could build up, try to get him Transcendent Hyperion. You could definitely farm his bios. But if you don't have him, you could do something like this. Beta Ray build lead, because he gives Thor a lightning damage increase. And you could do something like Valkyrie support. Valkyrie is also a good support. But if you want to use Valkyrie for another team, you could do something like this. Let's see where she's at. Where is Jane Foster? We'll just type in Universal. You could definitely do something like that, because Jane Foster's free to play also. You could do something like that. So Thor could definitely rock it out for you. Next one could be, if you have Captain America's newest uniform, you could definitely use Captain America. You could use Crescent. She's a paywall character. You can't really farm her bios. So if you don't have Crescent, you could use Punisher. He has a 30% physical attack lead for all allies. All basic attack, I'm sorry. Or you could use, in which most of the leaderships for physical attack are not that high unless you have Crescent, because hers is 60% of physical attack. But like I said, if you don't have Crescent, you could use Punisher. Let's see who else we have. You could definitely use Blade. Blade is a good leadership. As you can see, increases all basic attack by 60%. So Blade is definitely a good leadership also. But you could definitely use something like this: Blade, Moon Knight, and Taskmaster, because all 3 have the Weapon Master's tag. So Moon Knight is definitely taking advantage of Taskmaster support. So you could do something like that if you wanted to. Your next team up, okay, if you don't have Thanos, you don't have to do that. You could also do this right here. You could do She-Hulk lead, Increases basic damage dealt to metal types by 65%. And you could definitely use Hulk with the PvP build, because I could do stage 64 with Hulk with my build. And he's got a mighty CTP of regeneration. So, and as you can see, he doesn't have any attack Urus, just HP and dodge and a double HP Uru. So you can definitely do it with Hulk, no problem. In the third team, or if you don't have Thanos built, you can do something like this. You could definitely use Venom. If you have a tier 3 Venom, you could definitely do Toxin, because we did get Toxin for free. So you should be able to have Toxin, in which he gives all allies 30% physical attack. So does Agent Venom. And he has a support also if you have the artifact. So if you don't have the artifact, you could do something else like this. You could do, okay, Valkyrie support. Shadow Shell. If you have Shadow Shell, at least Transcendent. You can even have it at 72. And she could definitely do Knull. And then you could do something like, you could definitely do Wave. Wave is a good lead / support. But if you don't have the crystals for that, you could do something like this. You could do any physical attack leadership. Let's see, you have War Machine, which let's see, Winter Soldier. Who else would be a good lead? You have Ares, which you can get from the Epic Quest also. Physical attack. You have Elsa Bloodstone. So it just depends on who your lead is, but Shadow Shell could definitely do it. So that would be another team that you could definitely do it with. So those would be like the top 5 teams, really, in my opinion. So, and you would have to have up to stage 9 of Knull. I think you don't have to have any kind of pierce until like you get past, well, until you get up to stage 9. That way you can start unlocking the requirements to try to get to stage 10. And you'll have to have Apocalypse for the first stage so you can unlock it. Because I know you don't want to spend the crystals if you're free to play, or you spend very little money on the game. So you would have to have Apocalypse built up to do this requirement. And another person that you could absolutely use would be Iron Man. Iron Man is perfect. Iron Man would be perfect. You could use somebody like, you could do something like this, like Iron Man. Let's see. You could do Riri Williams. And then also you could do something like this. Where is, okay, War Machine. War Machine and Riri Williams, you could definitely do this with the superior Iron Man uniform or the Back to the Basics. Iron Man could definitely do it. War Machine has a great passive for machine abilities. As you can see, it increases all basic attack by 40%, and you get a 40% all basic defense and 30% increase of HP. So War Machine is definitely a good support for Iron Man. And then you have Riri Williams, Ironheart, and her uniform effect. It's on her newest uniform. So as you can see, applies to all allies, where you get ignored dodge rate by 25%, and increase basic damage dealt to boss types by 35%. So with Knull, you definitely need to ignore dodge because he likes to jump around and do a lot of moving. So that is a great leadership for Iron Man. Also, and for your strikers, you can have like three increased basic damage dealt to supervillains, or increase basic all attack, and then you'll need a couple ignore dodge rate strikers because of Knull's high dodge. So that right there would be perfect. So on and so forth. So those would be like the 5 to 6 best teams to at least work on to getting. That way you can try to clear Knull, if you know what I mean. So if you work on those team specific, your leaderships, you definitely need support. And your strikers, and with your strikers though, they could be tier 2. They don't have to be tier 3 or transcended. But as long as you have the right strikers, you could definitely do this stage. But just try to spread them out to where you don't have to be all bunched up and you're trying to figure out who you need to do for a striker. So just look at the characters. If you need to like stop, write down who you need to work on, so on and so forth. That's fine. But like I said, these are great options. And you have some free-to-play options in here also, where you don't have to spend a lot of crystals to unlock or spend money to get until you're ready for that. And the only ones like for crystals that are kind of necessary would be White Fox and Wave. But if you do spend crystals, first off, I would get White Fox first because of her leadership with the uniform, the Kamiho stance. And with this uniform, you have to spend money. So it's $20, I think. It's a seasonal uniform. It comes around on Christmas, so it'll be like a winter uniform. And as you can see with the uniform effect, it increases all basic attack by 15%, increased chain hit damage, and it gives it ignore dodge rate. So that's perfect. But if you don't have it and you can get this uniform, it only increases basic attack by 10%. So, but it still gives the Kamiho stance, her tier 2 passive. It applies to allies with the leadership tag. With this uniform, it increases basic damage dealt to supervillains by 65% and decreased damage by 30%. And with this uniform, it doesn't have the decreased damage received, but it does still have the increased basic damage dealt to supervillains. So if you can't spend money or whatever on the game and you do have crystals, I'll wait for the next uniform sale and I'll pick this uniform up if you have the character, and make sure you gear it to tier 3. That way you could use her. So those are my tips on the best teams to try to defeat Knull. So if y'all need any more advice, hit me down in the comment box down below. Make sure y'all smash that like button, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.